following presentation is for educational purposes only. All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.
All right, we are live with Meet the Team, a very special episode. And as a matter of fact, it's our maiden voyage of the Meet the Team episode. We're going to be doing this every other week, give or take, and we're going to talk to different people at NinjaTrader, different folks that are working at NinjaTrader. And we are lucky today on our maiden voyage to have Martin Franchi, CEO of NinjaTrader. Martin, good morning.
Jim, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you spending time with us today.
I feel like I should be interviewing you. You're a legend, but thanks for having me. Really excited to be here.
I'm just older than everybody else.
that counts.
So Marty, are you from the Chicagoland area originally?
Yeah, my whole life. Yeah, born and raised Chicago.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. And you graduated from ISU in Illinois, right?
Sure did. Yep. Yeah.
And but you didn't start off in the derivatives or trading business.
I didn't. Not by choice. In fact, I would say that the move from pits to screens kind of changed the trajectory of my career. I actually, like, growing up, I was kind of like a bit of a enamored with capital markets. And I actually, before it was easy to grab, I'm dating myself a little bit, but 30 years ago, you couldn't exactly just jump online and get quotes. I would actually call a broker, get the high, low, and close of a couple different markets. And I would actually graph it on paper, right? That was me at like 17 years old. I studied, read, spent a lot of time. All I wanted to do was be on the floor, Jim. I mean, as I was graduating college, leaving ISU with a finance degree, started interviewing at a bunch of firms, ended up having job offers to start in floor, but everything went electronic. And actually my job offer got rescinded. I never realized my dream of getting down into the pits. Many folks at NinjaTrader have great experiences and stories there. I can't say that I'm one of them. I ended up going into like the big corporate world. I spent time in the CPG world, a company with 100,000 employees, but always wanting to get back to trading, always wanted to get back to futures. And being from Chicago, this is where futures, the birth of futures. And ultimately was lucky enough to connect with the team at NinjaTrader on the brokerage side of the business really early on in startup mode. And that's kind of how it started for me, getting the business. And then I'm in year 16 of my retail futures adventure.
Yeah. So, when you first started with Mirus Futures, right? And they were a competitor in my firm, right? I was with Infinity Futures. You guys were a competitor. But the early Mirus days, when you joined, there was still a separation between platforms, data, and brokerage, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, the futures business and specifically retail futures has evolved specifically. And I'd like to think that, NinjaTrader and businesses like ours help push that change. When you think, and it's funny, you mentioned like we were competitors years ago. Of course we were. The cool thing about NinjaTrader is it's the combination of all of the leading pioneers in retail futures trading and retail futures trading technology. You have one of the first retail focused introducing brokers, which was Mirus Futures. You have NinjaTrader, which was the flagship leading front-end trading application. You have Infinity Futures, where you came from. We joined forces in 2020. You have Transact Futures. You have Tradeovate. You have in Tradeovate, for those who really want to go back into retail futures history, Those are the gentlemen who started Open eCry, the Open eCry platform. So you have all of the pioneers and leaders in the space had come together to kind of create this amazing experience, which is what NinjaTrader offers today.
Yeah, in the early days, I remember Ray Day from the early days, John Gramala, and I think Derek was the guy's big tall guy. Yeah, and Vinny was great.
Yeah.
But when Ray was kind of doing the platform, it was a lot of folks were starting to do platforms, but they were all separated from the FCM or the brokerage. They didn't have, and then separated from the data as well, right? So, but what Ninja did was they put them together.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So what we saw, so NinjaTrader started as a desktop application, and it was like we offered it for free. We provided free support, free technology. You only ever paid for the software when you were actually ready to trade in live markets. It's actually still true today. You still use all the technology for free. And part of the thesis there was we wanted to provide, the early thesis of the business was providing amazing professional tools to, retail traders and start to build the first community, which we did. After about 10 years, what we realized was distributing the NinjaTrader platform through a network of different brokerage services created that disjointed experience you're talking about. Your brokerage experience, your platform experience, your data, everything was kind of cobbled together. It was a little immature relative to markets like equities and options. And I feel like what's happening in the last couple of years is this is kind of futures' turn to to take that leading position in transforming an asset class and retail adoption. So when you think about 2014, which is when we launched our brokerage service, that was when we joined forces with Mears Futures. And it was really important to us to create a amazing experience for customers and also reduce prices. Like you had this disjointed experience before. When you go back in the beginning of retail futures, which isn't really that old of an industry, brokers weren't necessarily transparent. They didn't post their commissions on their websites. So it was this kind of disjointed experience. And you'd call a broker, I want to trade with you. Well, what are you paying somewhere else? It was this kind of weird situation. Yeah. It wasn't to modernize. Well, that was our goal, was to modernize it and make better experiences.
Yeah. And there was a lot of finger pointing. No, it's not us. It's the platform guys. No, it's not us. It's the data guys.
Well, when you're providing technology across 60 brokerages, all those consumers are getting different experiences, different commissions, different levels of service. We brought all of that together in this kind of first retail only, futures only experience. Where it was like you're getting everything, your brokerage experience, your technical experience, your data, everything all in one place. That was really important, and it really took off. We were very disruptive as a business in 2014, just 10 years ago. And what's interesting is what we realized, and we were introducing broker back then, so I'm not sure for the audience, I won't go into too much technical details to what that means, but ultimately what we wanted to do was become an FCM. And in becoming an FCM, we could take the next step in controlling all of the experiences, whether it was the onboarding, the treasury, a bunch of other things that were very important to us. So we pulled all of these things together into this really bespoke retail futures experience. And honestly, like I said earlier, Jim, there's so much more to come. We're kind of in the early innings of all of that, but we like to view ourselves as kind of the first modern fintech offering in retail futures.
So let me ask you this: you became CEO, I think, in 2018.
Correct.
And shortly thereafter, the CME Group introduces micro contracts. And I'll be honest with you, Marty, when they first introduced them, I rolled my eyes and I thought, oh, another money grab by the CME. But that didn't turn out to be the case.
No. So you're right. So I have been in this business for 16 years. It's been a really, really amazing journey. And as we started to realize, I like to say I felt the ground shake under my feet, right? Like when the rise of retail was happening, right? You saw financial literacy, this kind of mobile first generation, all these kind of trends were changing, and people were taking control of their own destiny. And as we realized there was that opportunity in futures, as people were kind of showing up at our doorstep saying like, hey, like we want in on this, we want to participate. We had to kind of think really carefully, like how do we create amazing experiences, education, content, etc., to cater to this audience as it continues to change. We were there on day one when the CME launched their micro suite of products. We were launch partners with them, and we really transformed our business to cater to this kind of emerging consumer who, as the products get smaller, they become more accessible to retail traders. If you were wound back to pre e-minis, products were massive. You remember this, Jim? Like it wasn't something that a current NinjaTrader customer generally had access to. Not only was the technology and brokerage experiences not there, but the exchange products were gigantic. You needed massive amounts of capital to have any access to those markets. Over the last 20 years, with our advocacy, your advocacy, and the advocacy of all these other companies that we've put together to create this experience, we've been able to work with exchanges to create smaller products, lower cost products. We've done that with CME. They're a fantastic partner of ours. And there's a bunch of other exchanges that are really focused on retail product innovation. So in 2018 and 2019 is really when we felt this moving. It was May 6, 2019. I'll never forget the date that we launched Micros. And it's been a fantastic experience. And customers have different ways to trade and smaller products to continue learning and continue to scale and all the different things that come with that. So it's been really, as exchanges embrace retail, we like to think that we're right alongside them and being an advocate for this whole retail futures community.
Well, do you think exchanges like the CME have kind of turned that corner and have really embraced the retail trader?
They have, absolutely. I mean, you can tell from the product innovation, even I'm in the business of this, so like I listen to the earnings calls and things like that, and they talk about retail. It's the fastest growing segment in all of the futures exchanges is retail participation. And we spend as much time as we can. I personally spend as much time as I can with our exchange partners, trying to think of like different ways to create great products, lower cost products, innovation at the exchange level, which translates into innovation within NinjaTrader and what we can offer. So absolutely. If you think about even 5-6 years ago, it was just kind of like this trend was starting, but we had to continue to push and push and push, right? If you went back 10 years ago, people thought we were crazy for being in retail futures. And I've said this before. We were in retail futures before it was cool. And we're still here, tip of the spear today, advocating for everybody who wants to find their path.
You've always been cool, Marty.
As cool as you. I'm trying.
No, you're doing great. So on that note, though, so you had that period of low interest rate environment where many FCMs folded because they were making their money from the float, not from the business. And when that went away, dozens and dozens and dozens of FCMs went away. Yet you were able to take not only able to adopt to that model, but also to expand on that model. Interest rates have risen a little bit, but still, that was a real difficult thing for FCMs to do.
There was a period in this industry where there was concern, consolidation, and then, you're right, Jim. The amount of FCMs, if you look, like they just started dropping. Nobody was investing in this space because of the historical model, like you're mentioning, relative to interest rates. What we saw was already massively underserved community only becoming more underserved as options became fewer and far between. We really stepped in, and that was part of our goal, was to step in and fill that void. And for folks that used to take retail accounts, which not everybody did 10, 15 years ago, we stepped in and kind of filled that void along with our clearing partners at the time, and really focused on creating a model, an enduring model that would benefit retail traders and ensure that our business would be there to support them for the long haul. And not every FCM was set up to do that a long time ago. And there was a really weird period of time back then.
Yeah, and so you survived. Not only did you thrived here, right? You stepped into that space and thrived here, and then you acquired Transact Infinity, right, which was me, and then Tradeovate. Yep. And so now we have additional tech resources and human resources folded into the organization.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about the NinjaTrader as a desktop technology only company was kind of what we call NinjaTrader 1.0, as we transformed ourselves into a modern fintech with the FCM experiences, with the Tradeovate team introducing web and mobile technologies and bringing the business into the cloud, so it's fully scalable to serve the gigantic audience that we're seeing today and anticipating growth from. We've really been focused on that transition and evolution of our business as the industry has continued to evolve. It's been a really wild and fun ride. And you can user adoption is just crazy, and the demand coming for retail is very, very real. So we do every day. I sit there, we think about how do we continue to provide the best experiences, the best technology, be as innovative as possible, and be the tip of the spear for advocacy of retail.
Yeah, and the technology side was always a challenge for us in the past, right? There's a lot of moving parts with, taking an order from a desktop and getting it all the way to the exchange and back, and then the accounting folks in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Now our tech team is off the hooks, awesome.
I mean, we have invested heavily everywhere across the business. I mean, I remember when we were a kind of small technology company and we had less than 10 engineers supporting the desktop. We're 10 times that now in engineers supporting desktop, web, mobile, all of our simulated environments and engines and all of our experience. I mean, it's a totally different thing, and we've invested across the business. Really at the demand of kind of consumers, right? Consumers are telling us what they want and we go build it, right? That's kind of what we do. And we've invested across not just the technology and product teams, but everything really, like everything from our front lines teams. NinjaTrader, as I mentioned previously, you can engage with NinjaTrader as a new to futures, or anybody really, but most people who are new to futures, they want to test, they want to learn, they want to engage with content, they want to learn the platform. And we do all that for free. We have the largest front lines team of people doing support for our technology, for our brokerage service and education. It's just kind of critical. It's a critical component to making sure that, we're providing that best kind of leading experience in space.
I mean, how do you get all this talent that just ends up here magically? I mean, I was the smartest guy in the room. Then we hired Tom Schneider. Now I'm the second smartest guy in the room. Then we hired Mike Burke. Now I'm the third smartest guy in the room. But we keep getting we get all these great talent coming in.
Listen, we are a very employee-centric business, and we have a really amazing story, and we have a really important mission, right? We are advocates for retail. We are changing the industry. We are the tip of the spear. And as we say internally within NinjaTrader, we're building better futures for all traders. And when you're purpose driven and you're doing all of that great work and you have an amazing growth story, people want to join the team. I always say we designed the employee experience the same way we designed the customer experience. So not only is the team really happy and engaged, but people want to join. And there's like kind of groundswell of people, even in bad hiring markets, people are looking to join the team, and we have been able to attract some amazing people. Not only, Jim, bringing kind of the pioneers together to create what we've created, but then bringing in people from all over the world that are kind of like leading business minds, leading technical minds across even different industries, many associated with trading and other fintech and consumer brands. But bringing all that together is really created a kind of a one-of-a-kind, first-in-class kind of group to continue building on what we're doing.
Yeah, and it seems between divisions, there's not a lot of territorial behavior. How did you build a culture where everybody will help everybody else, no matter if it's their job or not?
I think part of that gets back to like hiring for your core values and hiring for people who are interested in your mission. And we, at NinjaTrader, we take our everyone on the front lines, from our training and our the way that we treat the team as they join, all the way through making sure people who are joining in management are kind of low ego, like no kingdom building, no territorial, no data hoarding. You see that in really big businesses, and I've lived there. I 100,000 person company prior to this. Yeah. We hire like we're hiring for a small family business. We hire for our values, and we hire for people who are aligned with what we want. We advocate for our customers. Our customer success is our success. And if everyone comes in understanding that, you are rowing in the same direction, and you can build an amazing business. I've seen the other side of that in a prior life, and many of the folks who joined the team, when they get to NinjaTrader, they're saying the exact same thing. They're saying like, wow, like I haven't experienced this before. This is special. And I think we have a special team. We have a unique opportunity, and we've got a great mission. So you put all that stuff together, Jim, and you're off to the races.
Yeah, it's awesome. Back to technology for a second. How far could we go with this? I mean, we got mobile apps, we got PCs, we have, all sorts of, videos on demand. How far could this technology go?
I mean, I don't want to give away the secret sauce, but I mean, we're doing everything we can. I mean, we've got a bunch of Vision Pro goggles in our R&D lab, thinking like, is there an application for trading for that, right? Like, and it's funny, people are like, can I use those next? Like, I think that there's a significant amount. So there's a couple things. First off, we have the largest retail futures trading community in the world, and we are kind of surveying the community, asking what they want. We're looking at data, trying to be really, really creative in kind of what we can do to create products based on that data to help consumers trade. We're continuing to invest in different experiences and R&D to think like, what else can we do to create something that doesn't exist today? But ultimately, at the end of the day, we listen to the customer, right? We got our ear to the ground. We got a whole team of people in our innovation lab, and all we're sitting around doing is thinking like, what else can we do to provide people the best access and education and opportunity to succeed in something that's quite hard, which everybody knows, which is active trading is not easy. So our mission is to continue to do everything we can to provide them the best chance of success. And that's all we think about.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain on the education side, and the stuff that we're talking about, that we're doing, that we're going to do going forward, is really thinking out of the box. Because in the old days, in the old days, it was like, all right, we'll do a webinar, we'll send out an email blast, we'll answer some phone calls, and that model we were stuck in that model for years and years and years, and now we're starting to break out of that.
Yeah, I think if you go back, you wind the clock many years, a lot of our education was around how to use the technology. It's complicated technology, right? It's for advanced traders. That's for people who want to invest the time to learn. You're not just going to jump into the product. You're not going to jump into trading futures and find success without investing time. So we spent a lot of our time teaching people how to use the technology. And then over the years, that has evolved to kind of trader education. It's gone beyond just the technology. It's gone like, let's talk about these markets. Let's talk about these products. And we're still, Jim, you got to, like you said, you got to peek behind the curtain. We're in the infancy of what we want to do here. We think there's amazing opportunity to continue to create really curated educational experiences, social experiences where traders can kind of continue to connect in various different environments. So there's a lot more to come. And NinjaTrader is nowhere near done with what we're doing on that side. But as we think about the growing kind of groundswell of interest in retail futures for all the reasons that it's critical that we continue to invest there.
So with the rise of retail, and I heard that quote from you the first time. I thought it was great, several years ago. Yeah. How can we forecast that? How are you forecasting out, next year, the year after that? Do we see this kind of exponential growth still occurring?
We do. And I'll tell you why. I said earlier in the segment that we were in the early stages of retail futures adoption. I've been doing this for 16 years, as I said, but if you remember back, you go back to the E-Trade commercials and the E-Trade baby, and then bringing kind of equity trading, self-directed equity trading online. And then you had the rise of options, right? And I think that futures has shown that is the next, and consumers still don't necessarily know. If you walked around and you canvassed your neighborhood, most people would say, I have no idea what this is, but every single one of them would say I understand what stocks are. I believe that if you fast forward 10 or 15 years, it's going to be quite a different story. My son, I told this story within the business. I won't tell the whole version, but he is 15 years old and he's incredibly interested in capital markets. He's telling me he wants to buy certain stocks. He's chasing around meme stocks. He got excited about Roaring Kitty, and he got excited about GameStop. And I'm like, wow, 15 years old, right? So when you think about the rise of access, financial literacy, exchange product innovation, as exchanges continue to focus on, and we continue to partner with them to create new products, smaller products, you see things like event contracts. You're going to see a bunch of other innovative products. You see crypto derivatives have become a thing in the US in the last couple of years. The product innovation coupled with everything else I just mentioned, this is early. This is very early stages. So we're designing our business to cater to something that is far, far greater than where it is today. And it's crazy, Jim, you and I coming from where retail was very not as adopted as it is today. It's kind of crazy to think about, isn't it? Like when you think back to 10 years ago versus where it is today, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean the transition from the old pit guy to the modern screen was rough. Many of the folks in the pit could not make the transition, right? They couldn't make the transition because they were stuck in an old way of doing things, and now that's gone, right? And now this is the way of doing things. This is the modern way of doing things, and the folks that are joining right now I think get it a lot faster.
Yeah. And there's just much more content, ways to engage. There's communities that have popped up all over the world for people to think and learn and share trade ideas. So it's a this effect of all this kind of collaboration and community and everything else I mentioned. It's early innings. It's very exciting, and we're really, really proud to have been part of the growth of the space and continue to think about what the future is, which is really, really exciting. And if we had another half hour, I'd tell you all about it.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I know we're getting up against time here. Is there any secret sauce or any peaks that you have for us? Or
I think I shared some of it. We're working with exchanges to continue developing new products, and I think that's extremely exciting for us, and it will be extremely exciting for traders. When you think about even smaller products, nano-sized products, lower cost products, products related to corporate news, related to economic events, things like that. There's stuff coming. There's stuff coming over the next couple 1 to 2 years. With NinjaTrader, we also want to bring our very kind of bespoke retail futures experience across the world. We have a lot of customers who are coming to us, but we want to bring experiences across the world. I mentioned previously in an article I was interviewed that we disclosed that we've applied for our license in South Korea, and we're targeting five plus more countries over the next couple of years. So between product innovation with the exchanges, between international expansion and continued focus on retail and continued focus on future, coupled with more education, more content, more social experiences. And one thing I'll tease out, and you'll see in the coming months, is trading competitions. That's really, really cool. I can't share much more than that, but just be ready for something in that space, which will be a really cool way to learn and potentially a cool place to earn. So stay tuned. There's competitions coming, but that's all part of this kind of vision for the future, creating experiences across, and not only across every different trading UI, but an exchange, but across the world, and new experiences, new ways to engage in markets that don't exist today.
That's awesome. I'm happy. I'm so glad to be sitting here. This is great.
Buckle up, man. We're gonna have some fun.
I'm ready to go. All right, Marty, I know you're super busy. Thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate you helping us launch this new edition. I've got my target on a bunch of other folks. Now that you broke the ice, I think I can get them to join me.
Let me know. I'll poke them and have them join. We want to share. We want to share the story, and I think that the community should hear directly from the rest of the team. We're doing some great work. Everyone's working really hard to support all these folks who are either new to futures or professionals who are kind of moving to the NinjaTrader experience. So bring them all in, man. Let me know if I can help.
All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.